we're all like,
I'm sitting here waiting for Wayne to open the show. Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday, everybody. How is everyone? Right, Wayne, take it for there. Come on, I've done the first part for you.
Yeah, I know you usually do, and then you just say, "I'm passing it on to you," and just so quick. Just bear with me because I need to obviously send it on to pass it on to the shows.
Oh yeah, hi Wayne. I can see it.
Tonight's guest, everyone, is Sam from Truth Beyond Paranormal. Wayne and Sam are in a team together. I'm just going to quickly go into comments because somehow how they're built. Hi Jenny, hi Donna, hi Jermaine, hi Samantha.
Hello peeps.
I hope everybody is well. Oh, hi Tom, how you doing, love? Hey Donna McGree, hey Alison. So I'll share this out and I'll let Wayne carry on.
Okay. Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Tonight Mystical Carousel show. And tonight we have with us my boss and good friend from Truth Beyond Paranormal, who is the director and founder of said show, Sam. Good evening, Sam. How are you?
Yes, I'm doing good, mate. Thank you for the introduction. And hello to Lynn and Willow and Wayne as well from myself.
Hey.
And people over at TBP, which is just me and Mark, to be fair. We're the only two here in this area anyway.
Yeah, the rest of the team are here in Colchester. So
yeah.
It's Bazine. That's a good word. See, Sam, your infectious language has caught on to me now. Bazine. I've never heard of that word, but
no.
We're
making words here tonight, guys.
Yeah. Obviously, as the founder of and director of Truth Beyond Paranormal, obviously, it's knowing the insights of your day-to-day life and what got you into the paranormal in the first place. Because obviously I know you, but a lot of the people on the show that are in the chat and watch this at a later date, they don't necessarily know who you are. So it's nice to have a bit of a background on you as a person and what got you into the paranormal. So we'd like to know sort of how long have you been sort of dabbling in the paranormal side of things?
Yeah, so probably been doing this for since I was really young, to be honest. I've known that there was always something different about this world, about this planet in general. I've always known that there is something else out there for quite a long time, since I was very young, probably since I was about around 10 years old, something along those lines, probably around then, 9, 10. And yeah, the first experience that I had was I saw my grandfather, who at that point, actually, I had a bunk bed, and it was quite a funny experience because I was laying in this bunk bed at night and I heard somebody whispering to me, but I didn't know where it was coming from. And as I opened my eyes, I literally saw him just floating above me. Is that vertically? No, horizontally. I was like, what is this one? But yeah, so I saw him literally floating above me. And I don't really know who scared who more, to be honest, because I screamed, I think he screamed, and then he disappeared and I never saw him again. So yeah, that was the last time I saw him, unfortunately. But that was my first proper paranormal experience, was seeing him. And of course, I'd never met him because he passed away when I was before I was born. So I'd never seen him, never met him before. And I went downstairs to my mum the next day and I said, I saw this man floating above me last night. And luckily I have a mother who is extremely open to everything, all of this sort of stuff. So I told her and she was like, that sounds a little bit like it's my dad. So yeah, that was a weird experience. So I did, and that was my first paranormal experience that I had was seeing him and kind of realizing that actually, yeah, maybe I can see stuff that other people don't. And it's been like that kind of throughout the whole of my life. When I was working in a sandwich shop, for instance, I said I just knew that there was something that wasn't right when I was working there at the counter. And I looked up one day and there was a man standing there with a pail of milk and a cow. And I thought, well, you're not meant to be. I was like, what the hell is this about? Why are you here? And I was talking to one of the ladies that works there, and she was like, it's really weird that you said that, because what used to be here before was actually a farm. So she said, that's very strange that you said that, because that is what it used to be before it was made into this shop. So she said, yeah, very, very odd that you've picked up on that. But how do you tell people that walk in that they're, because I'm just staring at something that they can't see? So
yeah,
it's very strange. I'd see people at the side at a bus stop that I'd go past. I'd be like, oh mum, that woman looks a bit strange, and she's like, what woman? Don't know what you're talking about, and stuff like that. And it's like, so I'm seeing stuff there that no one else is seeing, which is quite interesting. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it, really.
So, I mean, obviously, I know, but not a lot of people know that you sort of, until sort of more recently, you did a lot of modelling and a lot of photo shoots as well for other models and so on. And it's under Portrait X Productions. So what made you decide to go from doing the modelling side of things with Portrait X Productions and then going into the paranormal as well?
Yes, this is going to be a harder question, isn't it? Because I have to be really honest about this side. This is what Wayne was meaning. I knew this was going to come out. Damn you, Wayne. Oh, I've just made the envoy go off by smashing my hand on the table. That's not a ghost, that is me. But yeah, so basically, as Wayne said, I have been involved in the whole fashion industry, film industry for a number of years, probably about 20 odd years now. And I started as a model, and then I went into photography, and then it just spiraled from there, really. And I started doing events, organizing all of that. And then decided to do my own films, and that was a real big mistake. I'm never doing that again. And so difficult to do films. So yeah. And then I decided that I was going to, of course, we all love Most Haunted at one point. Sorry, I'm just going to call them out as it is. I'm a very honest person. So we all, we can't say that Most Haunted at one point was not the big pinnacle of the paranormal on TV, because it was. I mean, they obviously kind of kick-started it for most other teams and most other people that do it now. Loads of people watched it. I know I was included in that. I know Wayne was included in that. But then, I met Wayne through doing the Most Haunted events. That's how I met Wayne. That's how I know him. And then one day he just freaking disappeared. One day he just disappeared. And I was like, where the hell's Wayne at? He's at all of these. Where's he gone? What's going on? And so we had experiences with Most Haunted. I mean, we did a few nights with them. And we did a few nights, I think, also with Fred Batt as well, just on his own. But there was one night whereby I had my camera on me, obviously, because I always take it. Well, at that point, I took it everywhere with me. Actually, I still do, even with Truth Beyond Paranormal as well, to be fair. That has not changed. So I took it with me, I was thinking I'll take some shots when I'm going round and stuff and see what I get. And then Carl came over to me and said, hey Sam, our photographer hasn't turned up for tonight, so would you be interested in being our photographer for tonight? And I was like, I don't know, because, you know, do you have any setup? What is it that you want from me? How do you want the guys to be set up? Do you want them in a line? Do you want them like some in front, some behind? What do you want? I don't know any of this. So just kind of go into it blind is a bit weird for me. So I said to him, what do you want? Do you have any lighting? Like, what is this about? And he was like, no, we don't have anything. So I was like, okay, this is going to be pretty shit. I said it straight up. I was like, this is going to look awful. Just to let you know, Carl, from Lovely Most Haunted, this is going to be bad. And you know, when you're meeting your heroes, as it says at the time, you want everything to go really well. And obviously, if you don't have all your equipment with you, it's not going to go very well when you're just thrown into something like that. So I was kind of put on the spot, and I was just like, don't really know, like, what do I do? And then, yeah, basically, he threw me out of his event because he didn't like what I did that night. So he chucked me out of his event and told me to basically do one. And I was a bit confused and a bit kind of shocked at it, to be honest. So I was like, okay, you know, yeah, I'll go, because obviously at this point I don't want to be there. So I was just like, I'll just leave, it's fine. So I left early, about an hour earlier than everyone else, even though I paid for it. And so yeah, and I just said, got home, and that was one. So I hadn't gone. That was an event that I went to without Mark. So I actually went with somebody else. I didn't actually go with Mark that night. I went with somebody else who was part of that group on Facebook. So yeah, so we had gone together, and she just kind of just left me to leave. You know, she just was like, yeah, okay, I'll continue my night and see you later, sort of thing. And I was just like, okay, that's great. But one thing that I noticed was Wayne, of course, was also not there. So there's me looking out for Wayne, being like, where's he at? Because I know that between, I think it was yourself and the other guy that I've now forgotten the name of.
Kevin.
Steve, was it?
Steve, yeah.
Steve, yeah. So I think between those two, those were the ones that I gravitated to the most, because I knew that, I think I picked up basically that these two people knew exactly what was going on. But yeah, so I gravitated to Wayne and to Steve, not to Kevin. And yeah, it was just one of those situations where I was a bit shocked and pissed off, to be honest. So I decided, and I just contacted Wayne and I said, look, you know, I do this, this, and this, and I think that you know this already anyway from being on my profile for a couple of years now. So I said, how would you feel? Because I asked him where he'd gone. I said, what happened? And he told me the situation, and I was like, well, that's a piss take. Like, what the actual hell? Why would they do that? Because you've been there like forever. For how long have you been there at this point? Do you get what I mean? I said, you know, then I find out that they've not paid him anything, and that they didn't even give him travel expenses, nothing at all. Accommodation had to be paid for by Wayne. You think of how much money those people make. And I don't mind. I don't mind if they come at me for this. I do not mind. They've already came at me already for starting Truth Beyond Paranormal as it is anyway. But they, you know, if they come at me, it is what it is. If they see any of this, but you know, when you think about how big they are and how much money that they are making from those events, to not pay their staff is absolutely diabolical.
Yeah,
it's just not something that you do. If I was making that money and I had staff, that's the first thing that my money would be going on. And it's one of those things that, you know, obviously it just shouldn't happen. So when Wayne told me all this, I said, look, I said, this is what I do. How about we just do our own thing? We go out there, we put it onto YouTube, and we make a go at actually having. Hello, Nick.
Hi there.
My good friend Nick. My good old friend Nick is in the house as well. Hello there. but yeah, so I basically said, Wayne, it's up to you. If you want to do it, let's go for it and see where we go with it. And yeah, and I think that we're now doing pretty well, to be honest. So yeah, we're getting places.
Yes, so, I mean, I think this year is the start of season 7.
Yeah.
So we've got 6 or 7, one of the two. We keep arguing, don't we? We keep saying to ourselves, you know, is it 6? Is it 7? But I'm sure it's around 6 or 7. And obviously we've got the plans for this year, which we've already set out. And that in itself is a bit of a task, is picking the locations. So how do you go about finding locations for us to go and film at, or that take interest?
Yeah, it can be a really, really difficult situation with locations, especially over here in the UK. You know, we watch a lot of the paranormal investigators on YouTube and everything like that. And I know some people will say, no, they're all fake, which, yeah, probably maybe some of them are. But, you know, we watch them and we think, how are they getting into these places? I know some of these places are like, you know, some of these people, these individuals on there do have a massive following. So it's beneficial to the locations when you get people that have a big following. So I think a lot of it is down to that. But then you've also got, you know, there is a hell of a lot more, I feel, in America that allow more than they do in the UK, because some of the locations over here are really difficult. Like when you're working with the English people, they are very difficult. They will make it as hard as they possibly can. It literally, they're like, you know, I'll say, Mark was saying to me the other day, you know, you get a hotel room for a night. They're like, brilliant, cool, thank you for giving us money. And then you say, okay, well, we're paranormal investigators, and we would really love to do some paranormal investigating in your location. They go, oh, brilliant, yeah, we'd like that. That's £10,000, please. And I'm like, no, wait a minute. Rewind. I was like, no, we are not looking for it to be like literally, no, basically. And then that's it. That's the end. You know, that's the end of it. Then they know that you're going to go there and try and do that. So then they're looking for it, and they bring out security and everything. Then because they know that that's what you're going to do. So they're like looking for it. So a lot of the times with me, with the locations, I have to butter them up and sweet talk them like you wouldn't believe, or get Mark on the phone to them to be like, hey guys, I don't know how he does it, to be honest, but they just say yes to him, and I don't know how. I want to know his secrets. But yeah, you have to sweet talk them into it, and you have to kind of make it out as if what you're doing is going to be better for them than it is for us. So we do a lot of that, but also a lot of it as well is from my background also. So I get a lot of times, you know, there's studios which are very unique studios. We've got one coming up this year, which is an MI5 base, which is an abandoned MI5 area. And they've basically said, yeah, you know, we want you to come on in and come and do that. We'll give you a reduced rate per person as well to come and do that at our place. And there's been a couple of others that I've got in contact with recently, like Buckinghamshire, what is it? Bucks Museum, I think it is, Buckinghamshire Museum. They've said that they're interested in us going along as well. And we've got Oxford Castle Prison as well that's interested for us to do a few hours in there. So yeah, we've got a few on the roster already, and we've got quite a big one as well that's coming up as well, Wayne, don't we? Which I didn't actually know anything about. I didn't know anything about this. Basically, a guy that came onto our TikTok one time, and I think we were following him, weren't we? We were viewing one of his live feeds, realised he was in the same area as us at Mersey Island. And Wayne said, how about, because we're going down there later, how about we just invite him along with all of his viewers to see what we do? And since so we call him Midlife because his name's Midlife Crisis on TikTok. That's not his real name, obviously. But it is a bit like
I like it.
The funny thing is, though, although he's called Midlife Crisis 101, it's not actually about having a midlife crisis. What he films is epic fails of people driving through flooded fjords and roads. And where we met him was on Mersey Island, and we were filming there that weekend, and he was also there filming people trying to get across the causeway. And this area is well known for people pushing their luck and trying to drive their car through 4 foot of water. And so he goes there with his guys, and he films these people that go through and end up destroying their car. So we invited them to come with us, and they only stayed for a couple of hours, but they absolutely loved the experience that they got. So I will let you carry on, Sam.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine, Wayne. Like, yeah, you can always take over, you know, it's all good. But yeah, honestly, he was shocked because he said, of course, I've come along to this night, and he said it's on TikTok, and you know, you guys are there, and I'm like, oh, we've just been invited to a paranormal investigation, guys. And he is very much like that, isn't he, Wayne? He's all about the viewers, and he's like, guys, you know, we're going on over to this, and you know, go follow Truth Beyond Paranormal, and like plugging it and everything. Bless him. But yeah, he came along, and we were like, you know, he was there like an hour or something earlier as well, wasn't he? We're like, God, he's eager. So we got there, and we met up with them, and we introduced ourselves, and he came in like right as we were setting up, basically. So we're setting up, and we're getting all the batteries out, and we're, you know, putting new batteries in all of our equipment, making sure that everybody knows for 100% certain on that live feed at that time that everything that we're doing isn't faked. It isn't like there's just this battery that's running down low and it's going to, you know, it switches itself off and on because of that. So they've come in to witness all that. So there was about, I think he said there was about, I don't know, probably about 200 or 300 people at that point watching. So we were just making sure that they got the full experience from Truth Beyond Paranormal. And, you know, I always say to people, that's why we're called Truth Beyond Paranormal, because everything that you witness, everything you hear and see is not faked reviews. It's all 100% true. So I said that, and he wanted me to explain some of our equipment, like this dumb thing that I've got out tonight. So yeah, you know, the torches and all of the stuff that we've got, and some of Wayne's stuff that he had. And yeah, and he was like, okay, so everything that you've got out here, like, explain about it. So I did. And then things started to kick off. So things started to happen as they were in there. And nothing happened for a while. So we told him to leave the room because we said he could be a paranormal blocker. So we told him to leave, and then everything would kick off. But his mate Tom, who does a lot of the filming for him, stayed and witnessed it. And he was kind of cacking himself a bit, wasn't he, Wayne? Because he was not expecting what happened to happen. And then midlife would come back in, and things would stop again. So we told him to leave again, and it would all start up again. And then eventually, once the spirits got used to him, and he introduced himself, didn't he, as well, Wayne? And he was kind of going backwards and forwards with the spirits. And then they kind of got used to him, and then they were starting to do stuff around him as well, because they got used to him being there. And yeah, midlife was like, holy crap, like the stuff is actually happening around me. That torch is going off and on its own. It's being touched by something I can't see, because there's a button at the back and I can't see it, but it's being turned off and on. That K2 is going right up to red, and we, you know, obviously we're far enough away, it's not going to be set off by us. That envoy, the black box in the middle, is going to yes and no, and I'm not anywhere near it. And he said, you know, this is crazy, I've never seen anything like it. And at the end of the night, before he left, he said, I was expecting you guys to hand me an NDA form to say, don't tell anybody that this isn't real and that it's fake. Hello there. Another
Hi.
one added to the roster. Hello.
I'm
yeah,
so happy.
What?
So it's quite interesting to hear that another person has witnessed what we do, basically, and can vouch for us that it is all real.
Yeah.
Because he said, I was expecting that you give me an NDA really to sign to say, don't tell your live feed that this is all faked and for views. And he said, and when you didn't, I then started asking myself some questions. And at the end of the night, he said, was that all real? What we've just witnessed there? And I said, yeah. I said, everything there was not faked. It was all real.
Yeah.
Hello.
And the thing was as well.
There you go. And it said yes. There you go.
As a result of that one evening, when I hosted a public event at the Red Lion in Colchester, I invited him and his team to come down to the event, and he drove all the way down from Lincolnshire just to spend about an hour and a half, 2 hours with us in the Red Lion Hotel in Colchester, doing the investigation. And again, the same thing had happened. He was blown away with what we were doing, the evidence that we'd got, all the sounds and the things that they saw were completely over his head. But it started the adrenaline flowing, and he was like, I can't believe this. This is amazing. So two times on a trot, they've come with us and they've seen something different each time, and they were completely blown away by it.
Yeah.
Hey
guys, I'm going to quickly.
What's going on with your hair, Wing?
This is my Roy hairstyle from Blade Runner.
He's getting ready for the next Truth Beyond Paranormal series. You see.
What I like to do is I go on camera and I go, I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
I'm just saying nothing. Right, guys, I'm going to quickly get into comments because the comments have been building like nothing else. Hi, Esther. Hi, Noreen. Jenny says, oh, wow. Nick Malou says, I'm going to be late as usual.
Yeah, I was going to be
Eric.
Eric is always in. If I'm somewhere, there's Eric.
Yeah, long time no see. Hi, Sam. Hi, Anna. Jenny says, I've only seen a spirit once, but after my boyfriend passed about 18 months ago, I feel him here often and deal with him letting his presence known to me. Eric says, I missed the part that Sam's house was haunted. Anna said, not yet. Haley said, popped in to say hello. Hiya, Joe, how you doing? Eric says, I don't mind calling them out. Hiya, Jacqueline. Claire's in the house, Sam.
Hi,
Mumsy's in the house.
Hey,
you better be behaving.
The Red Lion
Eric
Inn.
The
Red Lion Inn? Where's that? The Red Lion Hotel, you mean, mate?
Aye. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Daniel. Tom says, very expensive for the average investigations.
Yeah,
I love
it really is.
Sophie Ann.
Hey, Sophie Ann, how are you, mate?
There is Tom. Eric
Love
says,
I'm having one of my own.
Tom said, Nick and I did
we do not break. Don't even try that, Tom. We do not break that.
It's okay. I can verify that Nick does, because Nick asked me how to use pliers for the fence, and I told him, and then he asked me, do you turn it left or right for when you're pick walking? So I can verify that one.
I look at Pickle Tom here. He always breaks in a lot of places for his.
Hey, you know what I mean? Don't get me involved in your debauchery.
Listen, see if Tom won't even go down a hole. What chance do you go to him breaking into a place?
Really,
if he won't even go
at all. I'm just saying.
Wow, 4 foot of water.
Water.
That's the causeway for you. You probably shouldn't be admitting that.
Yeah.
Eric said that's really weird. One was when Wayne's laser level battery was draining.
Yeah, that was a weird one, I will admit. A good
Tom
investigator
says a
should
good
always debunk
investigator should
findings
always
before
debunk
calling it
things.
true.
That's right.
Yep.
He's absolutely
That's
right on
so
that.
true. It is so true.
Completely agree. Yeah, then that's exactly what we do. I tried to do some debunking on TikTok, but people started to hate on me for it, so I stopped. But yeah, it's so that's one of the things that we've got going on this year as well, is that Midlife has been so impressed by the stuff that we've got so far, is that he has basically gone away. And if Midlife comes in, I don't know, I sent this to Midlife, by the way, to come and watch it, but I don't know if he will or not. So yeah, so if you're in, thank you for this, by the way, Midlife. But he's basically gone away and has gone to a location on our behalf and has asked whether we can basically go in there and investigate in a very prestigious location. Actually, I didn't know how impressive this place was until I looked it up myself. It's up near him in Lincolnshire, and basically he said, we've been able to get you the actual place, the run of the place for free, as well as 3 hotel rooms as well for yourselves, and hopefully travel and dinner included as well in that.
Brilliant.
Yes, thank you, spirits.
And I've seen a few pictures of the place, and they've taken a few pictures at night time when the place is all lit up nicely. And when Sam says it's impressive, it's impressive.
It's really cool. It almost looks like a cathedral on the inside.
Yeah.
It's mad.
And just the pictures from the outside, I got the feeling that there is definitely something in there. And this hotel are quite happy for us to be there.
And what was it called?
We can't disclose the location.
Yeah, we can't actually say anything.
Simply because obviously,
I heard Sam talking about another place like that somebody had mentioned when they said the Red Lion Inn, and that's why I asked, because we used to have a Red Lion Inn here in Philly.
We got 2 Red Lions here in Chicago, so
we have.
Oh my goodness!
Only 2.
Everybody now has to do this just because.
We got 2 of them here.
The Red Lion Inn, and we used to have a Red Lion Inn, a historical place here in Philly called the Red Lion Inn. Like George Washington was there, like all the big names and the forefathers and all that.
Wow.
It's long gone now though, because the guy that owned it, ironically, just around the time that he was having a lot of tax problems, the place just burned down. And he got rid of a historical landmark.
Yeah, we have that here.
Yeah.
The ones we have here, I mean, they're both restaurants, and I haven't actually gone to the other one yet, but the first one that we got, I don't know if it really had a lot of if it has a lot of history or really any, hauntings that occur, but ironically, that was where I actually joined my first paranormal team over 15 years ago. We used to meet over there several times. But the second one, on the other hand, is actually supposed to be haunted. They say they've been having a lot of activity. We just haven't had the opportunity, even though it's not too far away from me. We just haven't had the opportunity of investigating it yet. But it's definitely haunted.
Wait, Eric says that's why I screwed the name up. But you were thinking of the one in Philadelphia? Is that are you from Philly?
Yeah. You guys are hilarious.
I thought
can you turn like to your channel, please? Well, me and this young man below me have got business to talk after the show. So hopefully by then I will have something up and running. To this young man to diagonal to me, wait a minute, I'm nearly pointing at Wayne.
Opposite end.
Aye, that night fever.
This one. No, that way. My head.
That's Willow's latest dance craze.
No,
they call that the
finger. Saturday night fever.
That's finger raving, isn't it?
Wait a minute, I'll get the vortex.
Oh my god, everything's happening tonight, isn't it, guys?
Yeah, that's usually how it ends.
Tom has his channel called This Is Tom's World. So
And
please
no
check him out.
Yep. All one. If you want to check out that YouTube link, it's all one word, no apostrophe.
No spaces, no punctuation.
Yep.
Just youtube.com
No
/
content.
this is Tom's World.
Oh,
begging for
that was a that was a thing.
so I mean, if he could be begging on his knees right now, asking, please subscribe to his channel.
Well, I don't need to do that because the last video that I posted up, I got almost 200 subscribers from. It has over 11,000 views right now.
Well,
Yeah, look at me, I'm taking off.
If he's begging on his knees,
that's bloody difficult to get on YouTube.
Yeah,
that is really hard to do.
I've been doing it for almost 5 years. So
that's what happens when you post a video of Joe Biden falling down the airplane steps.
Yeah, I wish I was the first one to post that.
Well,
I'd be rich.
If Tom's on his knees and that's how he gets his subscribers, well,
hey, listen, $20 is $20.
$20 is $20. Hey, Danny, how you doing, my love? And Jenny says thank you all. Plus, as well, Wayne and Sam are on Truth Beyond Paranormal. I will get the name right sometime tonight. So I will post the links in the comments, guys.
Yeah,
Please
make
check
sure
them out.
you have to make sure it's Truth Beyond Paranormal Live, not just Truth
Beyond
Paranormal.
Live.
Right,
That's the one.
cool.
Yeah, so basically the one that has more people in it, really.
It's the group. Basically, the original Truth Beyond Paranormal group was set up when we very first started all those years ago, and there were a few issues, and certain individuals left, but they had running of that group, and we didn't want them having one-upmanship over us, so we then set up our own separate group with the remainder of the team, and we've kept that one running. So the other person wouldn't remove the other group. So we just said, fine, fair enough. It will die a death anyway. And so we just kept the one we'd made still running.
Yeah.
So always make sure it's Truth Beyond Paranormal Live.
Yep. There's the link in there, guys, just now. If you guys send me your TikTok, I'll throw that in there as well. Oh, and Jenny's going to be watching and subscribing, so happy ending.
Just throw this out too, because I'm not sure where she lives, but just also let you know too, I'm going to be doing another show later tonight at 7 p.m. CST called Supernatural Talk. If you want to check out that show as well. I guess I don't know if she's tuning in through the Things Network YouTube page or a different one, but I'll be doing another one later tonight either way if you want to check us out.
Well, you may not know where she lives, but I know her number because I live through the 80s.
She's in Virginia.
It's 8675309.
Oh, she's on. Well, yeah, she's on YouTube. Okay.
All right. Fellow YouTubers.
It's all gone very quiet now, Wayne.
Sam, I'll ask you a question. If you had anywhere in the world to investigate, where would it be?
Other than my own house. That's a really difficult one. I would probably say one of the penitentiaries. I can't say that. Penitentiaries. Yeah, that's one of those. Whatever the hell I just said. I think people know what I mean. But yeah, in the US, I think would be one of the places I would definitely like to go. I think there's also a dam as well in the US, which is probably, I can't remember where it is now, but apparently it was on hallowed ground of the Native Americans.
Yeah.
So that's one of the places I would love to go. Of course, Queen Mary always comes up.
Queen Mary. I haven't gone there yet, but I've been really wanting to.
We have a place here in Philly, a penitentiary that was actually on a very early, if not the first episode of Ghost Hunters. Eastern State Penitentiary.
Eastern State.
Yeah, that was one of the ones that I remember seeing on there.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's a very interesting place. I haven't been there yet myself physically, even though I've lived in Philly my whole life. I've never been there, but I plan on trying to get in there, see if I can film and do a little video in there.
Yeah, that's been a very popular location to investigate for the last 25, 30 plus years. And ironically enough, just to throw this out, I can't necessarily say exactly where yet because I think we're trying to get an investigation together for this. We might be the first try to get into it, but I will tell you this though: 2 more historic penitentiaries here in the U.S. are well, one's already closed, so they already opened that one up for the public. And even though they didn't necessarily say that they're doing investigations yet, the governor of that state did talk about, they were opening it up obviously for history tours, but even the governor was like, we also have ghosts here for all you ghost lovers out there. So it was quite obvious that
it's quite obvious that they're like, yes, we'll let you come in and do your paranormal.
Yeah, it was quite obvious that they knew they were going to have ghost tours and paranormal investigations there, and we're going to hopefully try to get in there maybe later this year. But the other penitentiary, this is one I can't say because obviously we weren't going to this one. It's actually in the state of Nebraska. The Nebraska State Penitentiary is also closing. It's still in operation right now, but they're planning on closing it because they're building a new facility to replace the old one. And if I'm thinking correctly, I think the Nebraska State Penitentiary, I believe, is the oldest operating prison in the state of Nebraska, but that will no longer be the case. They didn't necessarily say that it's going to be open for the public, but I wouldn't be surprised that they would. So that might also be a new additional future location for a haunted penitentiary. It's been around. It was originally built in 1869, since after the Civil War. So it's a historic prison.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is good.
In the chat.
Any of you guys could do me a favour? Could you post the link in the YouTube chat? For Jenny, obviously, because I don't have that, so I wouldn't be able to. Eric thinks Tom's on fire. Tom says he was in the Queen Mary, very dirty ship. I'm expecting that for an old ship. Also, would be interesting. Very, very sad. Very sad.
I'm actually going to just throw this out real quick when she mentioned about Auschwitz. There actually have been a few investigations at Auschwitz, but from what I've heard, though, because of its horrific history and what happened there, they say it is undoubtedly one of the most difficult locations to investigate because the energy is.
I couldn't do that.
A lot of people are 50-50 when it comes to that one. I've heard a lot of people. Now there was a team in the UK who attempted to investigate there, and it caused an outcry in the paranormal world.
Yeah, I remember that.
Either way, I mean, whether or not you're doing it the correct way, or the way it's supposed to be done, it's very difficult to investigate. Okay.
As Lynn's out to lunch, that's AKA she's going to the bathroom.
But anyways, I've heard of several investigations.
That's number one if it's only 2 minutes.
I've heard of several investigations conducted there, and they probably didn't even last no more than 10 or 15 minutes. I mean, don't get me wrong. The results they got were interesting, but it was a very depressing atmosphere there. They just it was too much.
I couldn't do it.
I don't know if I could. I mean, if I was there, I would probably visit, maybe not investigate it, because I like what she just said. It would be too traumatic. Also,
yeah. I mean, obviously, I would go into the place, but I would go as sort of like. It's difficult to say. It's difficult to say as a tourist because I wouldn't. I would go there to pay my respects.
Yeah.
And I would probably go in there with my mind open.
Yep.
And if I pick up anything, I pick up whatever. If I hear or see anything that I can't explain, that will be something I would keep to myself out of respect for those that died there.
Right.
Yeah.
I would never go in there.
I don't think the spirits here.
I wouldn't go in there with a K2 meter and a video camera and start going filming around the place, going, "Oh, if there are any spirits here, can you make my light go up to red, please?" That to me would be disrespectful. I would go in there just to look around, pay my respects, and then go out again. There's no way I'd investigate it.
There was actually an
Oh,
investigation.
that's my pal.
There was kind of a little bit of a hunt that did take place almost 20 years ago in the early 2000s, but it wasn't with, obviously didn't have phones and whatnot yet, but you know, they didn't like film it or anything, but obviously they took a lot of pictures, and I think in 2 of the pictures they captured 2 figures.
Yep.
One of the kind of the bunker rooms, I guess. So was, you know, it was not their intent. Even if they had cameras, they didn't do it either. They did that out of respect, but they still, you know, there's nothing wrong with obviously taking a few pictures, but you know, like filming it would be kind of a different story.
Yeah. I'm just going to. Jenny says that she's heard the Eastern State Penitentiary. Eric says, "I was scared there for a second. I saw a flash and then smoke." Hey, Kate. Well. Oh, my favourite. Oh, you wee charmer. I can't wait to have you on. Tom says, "Nick and I always visit the penitentiary, opened or closed. Amityville Horror House."
Don't remind me.
That
would be a great
Amityville Horror.
All me share my link because it was requested that we share our link.
That's okay, sweetness. That's his YouTube only fan. You know. Fan. Well, Jenny says, "I've got to hop off here now, but we'll come back to play this." See you later, lovely. Thank you. Kate Says graveyard should be a place to rest. Sophie Ann said would be too traumatic. Tom is chalking his chicken. He's always chalking his chicken.
I just realised that he's sitting there like, yeah, chicken.
Oh. Pickle Tom and his chicken. And Eric says a private one wouldn't be bad there. It's Tom and his cock as usual.
Hey, you know.
While you guys were talking about outfits, by the way, the envoy just went to no on its own as well.
Oh, in fact, Sam, do you want me to show the picture that
yeah, you can show the picture if you want, and I can explain it, and then Wayne can continue with his lovely questions.
Yeah,
his mohawk.
I see you there, Wayne.
No.
It's a little bright.
Good.
It's very, very bright on there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's pretty bright on our side. But is that a hallway there, or?
Yes, it's a hallway, and basically, so that little ball that's on the floor, that is a cat ball that was going off at the time, and I had so this is in my house with this individual. I won't say the name because he may come out and start, I don't know, throwing shit or something, which we don't want on a live feed. Oh, and now it's just gone completely dark for some reason. Don't know why.
And then you see my emails. Nothing interesting, folks.
Yeah, your dirty contacts list.
Yeah. So this individual is quite a negative individual, but so basically what I did was I flashed my torch up the stairs on the live feed on TikTok when I was doing this live feed, and the whole chat just kind of was saying, "There's a figure there. We can see that there is someone standing over that cat ball. Can you do it again?" So I did it again. By the way, Eric is in the that was me again. Sorry, guys. So Eric is in the comments currently. He's a moderator for us. So he will be able to tell you in the chat, guys, what happened that night. And I'm assuming that he has seen the video as well that I posted about this. But yeah, so everybody saw that. I couldn't. With my own eyes, I didn't see it, but people that were watching it through the live feed could. And I was like, I'm not seeing anything, guys. Don't know what you're talking about. And then when I watched it back, I saw it. And as you can see, on the far left at the top corner, I don't know if you guys can see it very well because it is quite bright. That's all right. So if you see in the top left corner there, there's also like this outline of this face. So actually you can see it really, really well. And I can post it onto the Mystical Carousel group later for you guys if you guys want to see it. But it is a face basically that looks very similar to that of an owl. Which I've heard of the owl man and all of that stuff, of course, before, but this literally looks like an owl with black eyes
Oh, it
and
does.
hair, which is a bit weird. Like it looks like a humanoid creature. And the same night, there you go, you can see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it goes dark, I could see it better. Yeah.
When you can see it, yeah, you can see it when it goes dark in that top corner. And I, at this point, I was out of the room because I had gone to set some stuff up in the lounge ready for later on that night. So I wasn't actually like anywhere in that vicinity at the time. And people were like, why is there like this weird sort of face coming onto the screen there as well? There you go, you can see it.
Looks like Michael Myers.
That to me looks like your typical alien grey, not an owl.
Yeah,
it looks like Michael Myers.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah,
and
Wayne on that one. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark said it looked very alien-like as well.
Yeah.
There you go. Which is quite creepy, especially because the same night, so all of the lights in my house went off because I've got ADHD, basically, I think, guys, and I forget to turn lights off in the house all the time. So I had the lights on that were in the kitchen, I had the lights on in the hallway, and I had the lights on. Oh, hello. How are you, Wayne? And I had
Welcome
the lights
to the
on
Wayne Show.
also in the living room. So I had all the lights on in the house, basically, which was probably not great, but I did. And when I called this individual out and I said, is it who we think it is? Is it this individual? Because people were asking on the chat who have witnessed this story from the beginning, said, is that who we think it is? Could you say the name? So I called this person out, and then all of the lights in my house went off all at the same time. And that's on live feed, and everybody saw it. And they were like, what the hell is this? What's going on? And they at this point, they can't see me. And they're like, Sam, are you okay? Sam, what's happened? Sam, are you still there? What's going on? And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm still here. I'm just a bit shocked because this has never happened before. And we had the torches that were going on and off, but they were going off and on like in sequence with each other. I'd say, can you turn it on now? And it would 3, 2, 1, it would go off. And then I'd say, can you turn on the other one? 3, 2, 1, it'd do it straight away. And I was like, this is a very, very strong spirit. So it's not our resident spirits that we usually speak to. So I was like, okay, this is something else this time. And then on the same live feed, we have also caught a shadow figure literally racing itself down the stairs towards me. So I'm actually facing like I am you guys now. And it comes down the stairs behind me and literally comes past my shoulder and past the live feed. So you actually see it coming all the way down the stairs from the top. Just this random shadow figure flying towards me. So yeah, so that's what happened that night, and that's where that image came from. And this is the house is pretty haunted, as Eric was trying to say earlier. We do have a lot of stuff going on, but it's not the actual house that's haunted, it's the people that obviously follow us wherever we go, which is not great, but it is what it is. And yeah, so these have actually followed from the flat that we used to live at. We used to live in a flat, and this is where these individuals of these spirits have come from. And we used to have an old paper mill, which was situated across the river from where our flat is situated. And basically, I don't want to say it on live feed, but this individual had actually severely, let's say, unalived people in that area, and two of the, well, not two, because we thought it was two, but it isn't two. So one of the individuals
He should not be named.
So one of the individuals that was at the flat was one of the individuals that he had obviously unalived as well. So we have him in the house with us currently. But unfortunately for us, I think that we also accidentally brought the other one with us, which we didn't want to. But
so he's basically Voldemort. He who should not be named.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking here. Hold on a second. You want to come in and say that? For the like, come on. Come and say that for everybody. He's really angrily looking at me right now about this. So this is the other paranormal, our skeptic, basically. He is our skeptic, really, aren't you?
He's the Kenny Biddle of the bunch.
Yeah, basically. Yes.
Wow. Unalived is unequivocally the dumbest word in the
I hate it.
dictionary.
I hate using
not
that.
be used under any circumstances.
Well, I don't want other people to be triggered.
Ugh.
Or get a strike for using the wrong words.
I am right there with him. He is a brother in arms. I got.
Yeah.
Like everybody loves Mark, or should I call him M Jizzy, just literally for Eric, because he does a whole thing. He does a whole thing now, a skit of this M Jizzy thing just for Eric, because he did it one time, and it's basically like him pretending to be like those YouTubers, those young YouTubers.
Oh, I was gonna say, you better clarify that.
Yeah.
You're talking to a YouTuber. Don't be YouTubers. All right, you said young, and then that excludes me, and I'm good.
No, you're fine, Tom. It's the really, really young one. I'm not saying that you're old, by the way. That was a really
I
dumb
am.
thing
I'm about to turn 50 in a week.
No.
Well, I was actually going to turn around there and say, you talked about midlife earlier on. Well, Tom goes through midlife all the time.
Well, I mean, hey, if 50 years old is midlife, then I have another 50 years to look forward to.
Yeah, that's
there you go. That's like positivity. Like, you got to be positive at that point, don't you?
I'm going to be the 100-year-old guy at the bar who sits down at the end of the bar, and people wonder, he still smokes, he still drinks. How the hell is he still alive?
You know what? Tom,
he still does the paranormal. He's all right.
But you just mentioned, because I just had a flashback for a second. It just reminded me of that scene from Seinfeld with Kramer. He was in that party, drank like a whole cup of beer with a cigarette. Did you ever see that one? It was an episode.
Yeah.
It's like, here's the feeling good all the time.
That is pretty much it. Noreen was about to say Tom hasn't flashed his top tonight. Eric says, Tom, you should play with your talking live. Listen, Noreen, there's a first time for everything. I love Noreen.
Yeah, that one was weird.
Eric,
I don't know what that was talking about, Eric. But
hi, Laura. Oh, thank you very much. Beautiful. You are very welcome anytime, my love. We do not
say his name. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
I'm waving it in your face. There you go.
Don't you wave your cock in my face while I'm trying to read these comments.
Oh, wow, we're going into another territory.
Daddy says I can vouch for that. Hi, Laura. Eric says, oh, and then the lady in the kitchen in the doorway. Claire says, great. I think I want to come to you now, Sam. Hi, guys.
Again.
Eric goes, that's your nickname. Hey, Heather, lovely.
See you, Heather.
That is a big quote.
I could go on and on and on.
I love Sophie then. She was like, that's a big
chicken.
May want to see it. All I'm just going to say is may want to see a doctor about that.
Yeah.
Not about the size. It's not about the size.
To be honest.
There's got to be some sort of cream for that.
It's probably
The
coming.
jury's still out on that one.
I know the most perfect thing. Gorilla Glue.
Yeah. Or
does that make me a
The way that
dickhead?
he did like the salute as well as he said it.
Does that now make
that
me a dickhead?
chicken does need offer therapy, Heather. Well, I just want to thank Sam for coming tonight. So Sam, do you want to like tell people where they'll find you?
In her house at the moment.
What?
In your house at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment I am currently here in my house. Yes, very good, very good. Love it. But yeah, so you can find us on TikTok under we've got 2 pages on TikTok at the moment. We've got the Truth Beyond Paranormal, which is like our backup account basically, but it also has some paranormal stuff, some history stuff we've got on there as well. But most of our live feeds that you can see are done through the Truth Beyond Paranormal TV account. So it's the same sort of account as what we've got with YouTube. You can find us on Truth Beyond Paranormal TV on YouTube as well. So when I set up the TikTok, it was the same. So Truth Beyond Paranormal TV across both of those 2 channels basically is how you can find us. So yeah, we've got a lot of interesting stuff on both of them now. So that's quite cool.
That's good.
That's brilliant.
That's awesome.
It's worth a watch, then, isn't it? It's worth a watch.
It definitely is,
and it's been worth doing because we don't get sponsored by anybody. We don't ask for funding. We don't do GoFundMe's. The only source of revenue we get is where people have been kind enough to send gifts through TikTok.
So they give the gifts.
Well, I think we already
forget your
own
OnlyFans.
If Tom ever says anything, I think I already know what it's going to be.
So the thing is what we do is we look at these things and we look at the places, how much they're going to cost, and we divide the cost between us all.
Yeah.
So it's all self-funded.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, that's the best way to work it, guys. See if you are in a team. It is really good to, because the first ever team I was in, we basically like did the same. So it was like fuel money, if there was any things going like towards like obviously venues and things like that. And it does, a little helps go a long way. So it's always good, and that's a good thing.
It is, because I think it basically, I mean, you see a lot of these people out there on Facebook, on TikTok, they're asking for likes, the shares, the stars, the gifts. You know,
they're always asking to subscribe and stuff as well.
Subscribe to us, do this and do that, send us this and we'll do this. And it's all about building this amount coming in so that they can go out and do more investigations. But it's not about that. We do this because we enjoy doing it and we want to share our experiences. So why, we're not interested in how much it's going to cost them to watch us do it.
Well,
because we're happy to do it off our own back and share our experiences.
Point of order.
It's about melting into that night and that building and that time and letting it all come to life, isn't it?
With YouTube, it's okay to ask them to subscribe to the channel, but only after you've given them the content. You can't, like, there's people that as soon as they start the video, like, hey, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. No, I do it at the end of my videos. I say, if you like this video, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell.
Yeah, I mean, you see so many YouTube videos where they lead you down a path and they go to find the answer, like and subscribe, and you're just like, oh, seriously? No, fine, I'll go to a different video.
Or it's the clickbait of, I've just ran into demon. There's a demon beside me.
They do that a lot to get the viewers.
Always go and watch.
Hey, listen, it could be worse. It could be a cryptid.
Yeah,
Noreen, I'm so sorry, Saturday, because I forgot my job tonight
I
for
was going to
Noreen.
say, Lois, it's only taken you an hour and 10 minutes.
An hour and 10 minutes to say cryptid. I'm
No,
sorry.
it took an hour and 10 minutes for someone to remind you to say cryptids.
Wait. In fact,
I should be the one to say it because I usually am more into the cryptid stuff.
Yeah, well, she's into cryptids. That's different. That's
listen,
that's a whole different other ball game.
Listen, Nick Billy, I've got my own subject. You just lay your hands off it.
Yeah, Nick, you've got to remember, Lois likes necrophilia. Okay.
Right.
She's into cold packing, is what you're saying?
It's not my fault. I like them cold and stiff.
Well, hey, you know. And that is why
you want to accuse me of necrophilia? Why the fuck there's no answer?
Oh God!
Did you just call it necrophilia? Oh my God, we have a new thing now.
We've got cryptids and necrophilia. Where's my diary?
Lois, I am never going to be able to look at that word or anything associated with that again. Now that you said that involving my name,
necrophilia.
Well, at least I'm useful. I'm useful for the words that I can't say.
Like purple burglar alarm.
Leave my purple burglar alarm out this.
Alarm.
Alarm.
Alarm. I can't pronounce my
words, bless her.
I know, it's a passion, Heather says. Eric says, that's why I'm the biggest fan. Love you, Tom, says Noreen. Gary says, hey up low, how are you and the team? We're well, Gary, hope you're well too. Eric says, that's what I'm calling it from now on. But don't say where it came from, Eric. Danny says, hi Sam, you to your lives.
Hello everybody.
Hello, everybody. Tomorrow night, guys, we are doing something a bit different. The men have the night off. We're having ladies' night. we are having a bit of a ladies' night.
We were told, don't show the hell up.
Anyway, I'm just gonna say now. You know what? There's a better way you can get in, Tom. All you got to do is wear that special wig you got.
Wait, which one?
You see that now? This is where I get away with it because of my alter ego.
Well, I was kind of hoping your alter ego would show up.
Oh God, Wayne's alter ego, like we're doing that on Halloween, I swear to God.
Oh, Violet, funny.
Oh my God.
I was talking about the one.
Oh, I gotta go in the other room for that.
Tomorrow.
Well, you guys already know I have an alter ego of my own, but more involved for the scary stories, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I couldn't cheat my way through for that.
Oh, I should ask Wayne.
That wig.
Wayne, did you have any other questions as well
Robert?
before I run away?
Well, I was going to ask you, what is, out of everything that we've done experiment-wise and equipment-wise, what is your most favorite piece of equipment and the best experience with that equipment?
Okay, that's going to be a hard one. So obviously, I personally don't have a lot of equipment as it is myself. In the past, I've used a lot of stuff that Wayne has had in the past as well. I would say that one of the best paranormal tools that I have used to date, I mean, Envoy was always one of my favorites that I saw, and I got it, and I still love it. I think it's great. the torches have definitely been very interesting for us. So I would say that the torches is definitely one of my favorites as well. But for me so far, weirdly enough, I think it's actually the Phasma box when we use that with the speaker. We have got some, like when we used it, the first time that I ever saw that used was with Emily at Streatham Old Engine. And that was coming out with some pretty, really interesting stuff coming out that Jamie knew all about. And it was confirming a lot of stuff for him. And we were like, okay, that's interesting. And it said your name, didn't it, Wayne, quite a few times. It kept saying your name. And it was coming up with a few things. And we've been using it with Truth Beyond Paranormal on the live feeds. And I'll be using it, I'll be bringing it along and then using it as well again for other live feeds, and for anything that we do with Spook and Ori, I'll bring it along as well, so we can get a little bit of that going for them. But yeah, we had stuff tonight that was coming up, and it was really coherent answers, very clear answers, which sometimes doesn't happen with the Phasma box, I've got to be honest, because it's got a reverb on it which can make it very difficult to understand. But yeah, tonight, you know, we had Joanne, Wayne's spirit guide, come through to us, because the guy who shall not be named came through again and started communicating, and we said we don't want him here. So Wayne said, okay, I'll send Joanne your way. And as soon as he said, we're going to send her over to you, we literally heard what came out through the speaker was, I am here to help you. And I was like, wow, okay.
And it was a lady's voice, and up until that point, they were male voices.
Yeah, all male voices. And of course we had he who shall not be named. I can't say his name, otherwise he will just come in and start causing havoc for me. Yeah, that one. Yeah, pretty much the same person. Just he's got but this one has a nose. But yeah. So yeah, it was just one of those things, you know. We started calling, he came through and he started saying some stuff basically about his victims. He was giving his victims names and saying some very nasty things about them, and then he called me a very nasty word as well, and that was when Wayne stepped in and said, I'll send him down your way, because he was being quite aggressive. And then there was a lot of his victims that were coming through, females as well as males, coming through saying, he's not a nice person, we don't want him here, why is he here, he's coming back, blah blah blah. So we had a lot of coherent answers coming through today and previously as well. So Phasma box is definitely, for me, one of the best tools, I think. And we also used it for the Estes method, didn't we, as well, in the Victory Wayne? And we had the torches going at the Victory. We had your app, wasn't it, as well, Wayne, going. And we actually, from the live feed, we actually made communication with somebody's relative that had passed away through the live feed. So there was people on that live feed actually saying, I know this person and this relates to me. And we had the same word come up through somebody doing the Estes method, somebody, Wayne with his app on his phone. And then we also had the two torches going off and on as well at the same time to say yes or no to questions. And they were all matching up. And that's when it makes me go, this is now not a coincidence, because everything is all matching up at the same time. And on the live feed, this one person is basically in tears saying to us, I know who this is, and this is part of my family, and it's somebody that passed from my family like a couple of years ago. And they've never ever made communication. I've been on, and this woman said to me in private, and by the way, guys, I am allowed to disclose all of this to anybody because I've got her permission. I didn't post anything out there before I had her permission to do so, so I can talk about this because she is really impressed by what we got for her. And she said, I've been scrolling through paranormal TikToks for 2 years to find him, and I've never found him until you guys showed up on my feed.
Wow.
And that for me literally just blew me away. It nearly made me cry, to be honest, because I was like, we've actually done something quite spectacular for this person.
And special.
Yeah, and that's a special thing for us. So I really hold that dear to our hearts, really. I feel it's a real big thing. So we've had quite a lot of experiences that have been amazing for Truth Beyond Paranormal, and the people watching as well.
So a second part to that question,
yeah,
saying about experiences, what has been the most memorable, pleasurable, exciting location that us as TBP have filmed at?
Pleasurable?
Pleasurable. I don't know if
because
we're getting into the nitty gritty now.
Oh no, I say pleasurable because obviously we go out, we get these things happen, and we sit back and we go, "Oh my god, that was amazing."
No, I get it. I was just being a smart ass because it's what I do.
It's definitely pleasurable at this point. But yeah, I'd say for me personally, I mean, there's quite a few that we've done. I mean, Nuclear Bunker Hatch was awesome because we got a crying child there, which was really cool. We caught that quite clear. The dowsing rod communication you guys did there was really, really, really cool, and matched up with some of the stuff that we got with the other team as well. So that was a really cool location to do. But for me, I think it's definitely going to be Woodchester. We caught some crazy stuff at that mansion. It was insane there. I mean, we've got the EVP, which, you know, straight up, that is probably the biggest part of that night, like through and through. We caught an EVP that said "kill me," but in a really growly, deep voice, and it literally sounded like it was literally over the microphone on the EVP device, and it said "kill me," which I was a bit confused by, because I thought, well, you're already dead, mate.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe he didn't know.
Missed the boat on that one. I'm just saying.
Of course, just saying.
Yeah, it was a really weird experience, but we also caught we actually caught an apparition that night as well, so that was on camera. So I was outside filming the introduction for Halloween with Wayne, making it look all fancy and cool. So three of the team were outside, and the other three of the team, Mick, Mark, and Mark is a skeptic. So he was a bit like, I don't know what you've caught, you know. And we had Chloe there as well. So another team member, Chloe, was there. And there's this long corridor which they call a gallery at the top floor. They'd gone up there. We caught that's where we caught the EVP. So Mick said, I want to go back to that location and I want to see if we catch more. So he went up there with the other guys. We're nowhere in sight. We're like, 10 minutes away downstairs outside, they couldn't hear us even. And the other guys have basically stayed all the way at the other end of the long corridor. And what Mark has captured is, it looks like a man in old regalia, like you would see from that time, really old nobleman regalia, with his hair tied up. It looked like he had like a ponytail sort of thing. You couldn't see any features of his face. It was all completely blank, but it looked like he had a book in front of him. And he's just kind of like turning, like you see his face kind of turning towards where the camera is, and it's kind of all like moving all the time. And when I saw that, I was like, what the hell? Because how the hell has this happened? Because there's no chance that there could have been a person standing at that area. Because basically when he shines the torch up, there's a barrier there. And then beyond that barrier is like a 20-foot drop to below. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, nobody could have been standing there because of that drop. So this thing is freaking floating there.
Yeah.
But back in the day, that would have been a wooden floor.
Yeah, it would have been, which obviously this mansion also isn't completed. They never could complete it. And this is some of the weird stuff about that place, because they never completed it, because there was always something going wrong. It was like it was cursed, they said.
They kept extending it, didn't they? They kept building new
Yeah,
sections and they never finished.
extending it, trying to get it to, and it just never did, and it just fell into the hands of who's got it now, and they just let people from the public go in there now. But yeah, it was an interesting night, and that apparition also turned into something else. Like once they said turn the lights off, so Mark was like turn all of the torches off and the torches like that are on the phone, so turned everything off, and then you see like this white silhouette just growing, and it just like it's like it moves into the center of the frame, and then it just grew and grew and grew and like takes over basically. And people were saying it looked like it had wings, or like it had pauldrons, you know, like the knights used to have in medieval times.
Yeah.
They said it looked like it was like a knight that had pauldrons or wings. And they were like, what the hell is that? Like, it's so weird, and it kept changing shape and stuff. So I would say that, yeah, Woodchester is definitely up there. I think that would be my number one place I would personally want to return to do another paranormal night there. Would be incredible.
Yeah, I know one place that we are going back to that we found was quite an experience, and that was Dunwich.
Yeah. Dunwich was really, really cool as well. I think you guys, when you first went over there, you had the bag that was floating off of the bench that was kind of just there in midair. Yeah. And then it fell off, didn't it, after a time? And then you guys had what looked like I think it was yourself, Peter Fox, and Peter Ling saw a figure, didn't you guys, as well?
I spotted it. There was a grey silhouette standing over a grave, and I pointed it out, and we chased after it. And we ended up with two of us going one way round the church, two of us going the other way round, so that we met the other side. And when we got round there, it was like someone had turned the floodlights on. There was just bright light everywhere, and there was nothing in sight. Whatever it was had gone round the corner of the church and then just vanished.
Just disappeared. Yeah,
so
really weird.
It was a bit of a weird experience, but for me, Charlotte was the probably the biggest moment there, with having communicated with this little 9-year-old girl who had died in what was the leper chapel from an old leper hospital. We got communication with her. When we finished communicating, we said goodbye to her. We started heading towards the beach. Now, nobody, not many people know much about Dunwich, but it was one of the biggest ports in Europe up until about 1715, where these two great big storms come along and literally washed away most of that town. And it ended up in the North Sea. And this little girl, Charlotte, as we were heading back to the beach, we heard these footsteps come running up behind us. And this is about 1 o'clock in the morning. This town does not have street lights. So we're walking along the road with our torches, and we heard these footsteps running up behind us. We were talking, we just turned around, and all we could see was wet footprints on the road leading right the way up behind us, and then stopped. They didn't come past us. They just stopped right behind us. Yeah. And it was the spirit of this little girl trying to follow us back to the cars and back to the beach.
How lovely.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a really interesting, and I think you also had the motion sensor light that wouldn't turn off in the car as well, and it kept turning itself on. Yeah, that was quite funny.
What I'll do is, guys, because I know that you want to get off for 10:30, what I'll do is I will schedule you in for later down the line this year.
Definitely.
I've only managed, in fact, I'm sure I can schedule you in for July. I've worked up to July. I've not even got any further forward. I'm going to quickly run through the comments, guys.
Yeah, go.
Paranormal
Perth, Western Australia.
I need to get my teeth in. Hey, honey. Tom reminds me in the 80s. Yeah.
Woodchester is on my list too. Yeah.
Yep. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Holly. Yep. Did the bag get caught on video? By
Did it
Claire?
not?
No.
I'm sure you had like oh no, you just did a voiceover about it, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. She said this is why I keep on telling everybody to go get a GoPro so it gets caught. But definitely we will get you back on for part 2. It's just tonight. Obviously, I know that you wanted to finish pretty early. But
Who
tomorrow
needs a GoPro?
night,
I have a little body cam.
I use this.
That's it. That's it.
That works.
GoPro, yeah.
But tomorrow night, guys, 8 o'clock, we will be doing ladies' night, so it'll be a fun night.
I have another body cam.
How many body cams have you got? But thank you very much, Sam.
Only 2.
Only 2? Well, it can't be Nick. That's 2. Just 2. Just pretty much 2.
And my latest gadget designed to scare people when I do events, the Aztec death whistle.
It looks like a
button.
Oh, wait, I see it.
Jeremy has a death whistle too.
Only I'm not going to do a Tom and actually make a noise because it is so bloody loud it will wake up everybody in the house.
No.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
What that?
Whistle, Tom.
That is. But definitely check us out tomorrow night, guys. Go and follow Truth Beyond Paranormal. Go and follow This Is Tom's World. Follow
and also,
everyone.
There's one more page I want to share out because I was also earlier this evening in talks with Norwegian ghost hunters. Please go check out their YouTube channel too. They just released a new episode of their series just 4 days ago. So please check them out. They really, if you guys can check them out and subscribe, they really appreciate it. They're trying to get more people from overseas to check out the series.
Yep.
They're starting great out in Norway.
And no, Robert, no guys. So it's a non-sponsored party.
No, guys. You can go and have your own podcast. Me and the ladies are going loose swimming. Loose swimming, foot bleed.
Party.
Whoa. Tom.
I was trying to think of the equivalent, the female equivalent of a sausage party.
I will only allow you on in one condition.
No, it's a women. I am not castrating myself just to come on.
It's okay.
What are you gonna do? I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's it. But everybody take care and have a good night. Thank you for the support, guys. Thank you for Wayne for opening and carrying on, and thanks Sam again, and thanks to everybody.
No, thank you for having me on, and we will meet you all again very, very soon, I'm sure.
Very soon.
It was also a pleasure finally meeting you face to face.
Yeah,
so,
it is, isn't it, Nick? It's been a while. We've been talking
I
for a while.
realize that too, because we have spoken, just through the chats, but it's my first time actually meeting you this time. So it's great to finally meet you face to face.
Yeah, it's great to meet you too. When you popped up as a little window, I was like, it is Nick. Oh no.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh no. He's going to be ridiculed tonight. You see, I was meant to go on his show as well.
I've been ridiculed multiple times. Believe me.
I have never ridiculed you. I don't know what you're talking about.
You liked that. You liked it. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.